I'll just make a brief opening statement. The Commission members have evidence before you that shows that Alan Hill was employed by Bison Public Schools until it was discovered that Mr. Hill was using school district computers to access sexually explicit materials. And as you'll see, the evidence shows that Mr. Hill did this on more than one occasion and visited more than one site over a 3-month period in March, April, and May.
I see Melanie didn't make it. No surprise there. She's probably meeting with a divorce lawyer right now. Jack was so sure this was going to blow over. Said it's not against the law. Said I didn't do anything wrong. I hope he's right. I didn't think I was hurting anybody. I thought I was protecting my family. Who am I kidding? I wasn't thinking. I was there, alone at school, no kids around. I knew better. But I told myself there'd be no harm in taking a look. Just once. Melanie would never allow it at home. Not in this house. Well, who could blame her? Josh is 3. He could have walked in. But at school, at night, alone, what was the harm? Just once. But it wasn't just once. What possessed me to think I wouldn't get caught?
After I saw what was on his screen, I waited until he left the room and checked back to see what he'd been viewing. When we confronted him about it, he claimed he had just looked at something a friend had recommended and hadn't known what it was. He said it was the first time he had done that and promised never to do it again. But when we started investigating, it became apparent that he had been looking at explicit material, pornographic websites and that sort of thing for quite some time. Clearly it wasn't one site or one time. We found page after page he had visited.
After you discovered Mr. Hill's activities on the computer, did you find any evidence that students were ever present when he was visiting these sites?
Well, as I understand it, there are codes so you can figure out that sort of thing. You can see which computer someone used and when someone's been to a particular site. I'm not an expert. In our investigation, we didn't get that technical. But there was the potential for a student to enter any room where he was accessing this material. The evidence we did gather definitely showed he was doing this on computers belonging to the school district. That was a policy violation in itself.
Was Mr. Hill terminated?
He chose to resign, and his resignation was accepted.
You've seen the evidence before the Commission, collected by the...
Thank God I didn't listen to Jack and drag this thing out. He kept telling me it's not against the law to look at porn. He didn't understand. It wasn't just a legal thing or even a policy thing. It was just wrong.
Mr. Hill was using the school district's computers to access websites that, in our opinion, are pornographic websites. That's not what the taxpayers intended when they bought the school district those computers. Our position is that using the school district's computers to access pornographic websites on the internet is immoral conduct. It wasn't just a one-time mistake or a brief lapse in judgment or an ignorant error. We need to send a clear message to Mr. Hill and to all members of the profession that this is wrong, and to send a clear message to the public that we want to protect students and ensure that this very valuable technology is used appropriately always.
Jack, yeah, you wanted me to call when it was over. Well, it's definitely over. My certificate revoked for 2 years. No, it wasn't. I'll explain it to you later. They weren't out of line. Well, I'm supposed to get counseling. No, I'm not gonna call her. She wouldn't answer anyway. I'm just gonna, I don't know, at some point go back for the rest of my stuff. Stay at the hotel a couple more nights so I figure out where I'm gonna live. I have no idea. Where do you suggest I look for a job? I mean, seriously, who's gonna hire me? No, this is not something I can lie about or hide. They'll do an internet search on me and whomp, there it is. How's that for ironic? Sorry, it's just everything. You know what's also ironic? I could visit all the sites I want to now. That's pretty much the last thing I want to do.